A two-day training retreat organized by the Association of Maritime Journalists of Nigeria, Amjon, at the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria in Topo, Badagry, with the theme Enhancing Capacity and Efficiency in Modern News Reportage. Stakeholders from the industry shared their thoughts on how to improve efficiency for smooth cargo clearance from the port. Speaking at the training, the Controller General of Customs, Colonel Ahmed Ali, who was ably represented by the National Public Relations Officer of the Service, Chief Superintendent of Customs, Abdullahi Mewada, pointed out that based on performance, the Nigerian Customs Service is doing better than some of their foreign counterparts and will continue to improve on effective service delivery, trade facilitation, and capacity building. Also speaking at the program, the National Coordinator of Port Standing Tax Team, Mr. Moses Fadikwe, disclosed that its role is to improve transparency, enhance revenue generation, and tackle corruption in order to encourage local business and foreign investment. He added that the PSTT is responsible for the enforcement of the provision of the Nigerian Port Process Manual, which include the implementation of the standard operating procedure for all port-related activities. Analyzing some relevant section of the Act governing National Inland Waterways Authority, the representative of the agency, Mr. Nasri Beyakari, explained the function of NIWA as is captured in various sections and caps of the NIWA Act.
Training and Doctrine Command. Initially, we have 6 Deputy Comptroller General of Customs. But at this moment, because of the importance of training and doctrine, a separate command was created to supervise activities relating to doctrine and training needs of the Nigerian Customs Service. And we have a Deputy Comptroller General of Customs who is the number 7th member of the board of the Nigerian Customs Service among the DCGs to head that TRADOC. And this gave birth to a lot of training and retraining. At the initial stage, an officer can grow up to a certain rank without even undergoing one, apart from the basic training, without undergoing series of training and retraining. Now, within that, something was introduced. We have the Nigeria Customs Command and Staff College, Gwagwalada, which is under the TRADOC. Now, we introduced what we call the Junior and Senior Division course. For junior course, you spend at least 3 months. Some of my colleagues are beneficiary of this course. Then for the senior course, you spend 5 months, 5 to 6 months. And within that, there will be rigorous training for the middle cadre officers. I say rigorous, I mean rigorous. It is very intensive and very rigorous. And the senior course will go for operational study tours in African countries, while the junior course will go for local operational training to study tour, OST, operational study tour within Nigeria. Some will go to ports, some will go to land borders, and at the end, they will come up with what we call service papers. And those papers will be archived in our libraries in the college for subsequent uses and for utilizations, conceptual research, and so on and so forth. So that training is meant for middle cadre officers, because when they are growing up, they will have the ability, the skills, the leadership skills, the time management skills, the ability to communicate in public, and so on and so forth. So that is one of the key reasons for creation of TRADOCs. And TRADOC supervises our 2 training colleges, one in Lagos and one in Kano. So now, they are responsible for development of curriculum, review of curriculum. As at yesterday, a curriculum was reviewed. There are officers who have attained some ranks and have not received this training. A curriculum was developed, what we call training module, for these categories of officers to undertake this kind of training. So customs now train both nationally and internationally.
What is Nigerian Port Process Manual? This is a document that dictates the activities in the Nigerian maritime space as of today. The only document that dictates the maritime activities. I'm talking about the trajectory step-to-step activities in relation to the standard operating procedures of all agencies, public and private, in the Nigerian port sector. What do I mean? We all know what our ports used to be, or what they used to report about our ports. It's not an encouraging reporting. It's all negativity. But that does not mean that there's no positive things. A lot of positives are going on in the Nigerian port sector. And that was why this document came into place, to let everybody know, all the actors in the industry, And it speaks specifically to 5 critical areas. 1, ships' arrival and departure. From anchorage to the berth, and up to the very departure back to the anchorage and to the ICs. A lot of activities takes place with a lot of actors, shipping companies, terminal operators, the customs, immigration, port head. These documents tell us what the activity should be on board of a vessel. It tells us the timelines. What time am I expected to be on board of a vessel at the customs man? How many officials of customs are even permitted to board the vessel at any point in time? From what unit of the customs is it supposed to come from? All these things are specified in this document. I equally speak generally about terminal operations. What are the expectations you need to have from terminal operators in Nigeria? He moves further to talk about the customs examination of cargoes. Specifically, it's in this document. So it's like a Bible for all actors, even for the journalists. If somebody has come to you, oh, the customs has done this to me, consult this document first. Did the person even know what he's talking about? Has his right been infringed upon? All these things are in here. Equal to the immigrations and the port head. All we are doing is to collaborate with all agencies in the port sector. Because you have your standard operating procedures, you have your policy mission, so we are not to encroach on anybody's policy mission. We are not to encroach on your activities, but we are there to ensure that you are doing it as it is enshrined in your mandate.
The National Inland Waterways Authority Cap N47 2004 bestows on the authority various functions and objectives aimed at enhancing efficient and sustainable marine transport regulation, trade economic growth, while ensuring safety and environmental sustainability. To understand and appreciate the mission for which the authority was established, the Act is arranged into parts, sections, schedules as follows. The Act is divided into 4 parts. We have part 1 to 4. Part 1 provides for the establishment of National Inland Waterways Authority with 7 sections as follows. Section 1 establishes what is called National Inland Waterways. Section 2 provides for the objectives and, of the authority. Section 3 provides for the establishment and composition of the board of directors of the authority. Section 4 provides for tenure of office of members of the board, remuneration, termination of board membership, frequency of board meetings. That is 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then when you go to part 2, you see functions and powers. Section 8 gives us the general function of the authority. Section 9 gives us other functions and powers of the authority. And then you go to part 3, which is the guarantee of navigable waterways. You go there, you see the extent of NIWA's jurisdiction in terms of waterways. Section 10, 11, 12, and 13 gives you the overall coverage of the jurisdiction of NIWA.
The National Image Maker of Customs also disclosed that employment into the service is 100% based on merit.
Who make sure that every local government of Nigeria is represented in the recruitment process into customs. And the era of you know someone before you join customs is over. And I implore you to go and do investigative journalism. The new officers that have passed through our training colleges and those who are training, whether someone brought them into Nigeria Customs Service. I think this is one of the most critical things that have happened to Nigeria Customs Service. And we painstakingly went to federal character. We were invited and we explained the process of our recruitment process. And in fact, they gave the CGC award for this outstanding performance. At a point, his nephew applied for the service and he did not succeed in writing the exam and he dropped him. And they called, he said, do you want me to drop the person who have passed the exam to pick you into customs? No. So each local government in Nigeria was given 4 slots. And after we have not exhausted the number, he said we should go and check the nominal roll of customs and look at the states that are less represented in customs and fill in those vacancies. So that is what he has done, and I think it's a very good thing to start with the Nigeria Customs Service.